Well, we are very excited to get going and have an opportunity to play under the lights Wednesday night against Wisconsin-Platteville, which, as you know, with the men's and women's programs here, having such deep ties to the Division III WIAC conference, it's always great because it's an opportunity for kids who are not necessarily we're coming to Madison to play or as students, but playing at the various Division III schools in the state. It's a great experience for them. It's a great opportunity for our team this year with 4 new players, 3 that will be able to be in uniform on Wednesday night that have yet to play a game in the Kohl Center, as well as the returners to see that progression that we've made since last March in the Big Ten tournament. So we're excited for the game on Wednesday as we prepare. No further than that, we'll get ready for Charlotte once we're done with Wisconsin-Platteville. But I'm excited for this group. We've had an opportunity to have a closed scrimmage to look at a lot of different things. It's a little different from that last year, but you can tell the heightened excitement. I think this morning when we had our lift and our strength and conditioning session, and it's just been a group that have been like sponges moving forward, trying to improve individually, but more importantly as a whole team.
Is it too early for you to have a good handle on where you think this team will be better than it was a year ago?
I think there's a lot of areas that we've emphasized to be better in. One that I believe we are at this point is just how we can progress day to day with concepts in year 2, especially ones that we were working upon every single day. I think we're going to take care of the better care of the basketball, and it has been a chief concern since we started in postseason workouts last spring. How we play is going to be a little bit different. I think that part of maybe a little bit more the ball in position where it's not as equal opportunity. I think just collectively defensively, we have a group that how we're going to play defensively fits us better. We're not going to be as deep, I think, in the post position as we were with the graduation loss of Aviana Young and Melena Johnson being out for the year. I think those two things, we've been forced to have that, and the only good part, I think, with those losses is they happened early, and we're able to kind of really see what our teams to be able to do. But I think if I could point on one side, one thing on each side of the ball is taking better care of the ball offensively, and defensively, I think hopefully force more people out of the paint, taking contested shots and being able to finish possessions that way.
You mentioned the 3 new faces. How much of a factor do you think they will be?
Well, I think Nia Beverly gives us something that we did not have last year, and that is an improved perimeter defender on the basketball. And I think any good defensive team is usually really strong kind of right up the middle. You have an anchor post player, somebody who can pressure the ball, slow down people in transition. That's something that I always saw in her, even as a freshman in high school. When I got, I had the chance to see her play in the Washington, D.C. area. I think the other part that she will bring is to be able to create for others. And she is somebody that can put the ball on the ground, force help defense, find other people in transition, attack off the dribble. Lizzie Miller and Kara Crowley are both great Wisconsin kids for us. They make us better every single day in practice, but if I really had to kind of select one, I think it'd be Nia Beverly.
So what kind of defense do you plan to play, Jonathan?
Well, last year I think we pressured more, and that was more of my background, and we also at George Washington for 3 of the 4 years had, who now has established herself as a WNBA All-Star and most improved player in the WNBA, in Jonquel Jones. I think this is going to be more of a team that relies on a team defensive model of cutting down on penetration, being able to be really, really active. helping keep people outside. So I've really tried to lean on Coach Guard for some knowledge as far as that goes, especially looking to how that best could fit our team. I've talked with various coaches, and I think one of the reasons we played better at the end of last year is just understanding that concept. We went back to the man-to-man, late last season, and we're able to win the 3 games at home in a row, even at times when we are outsized. And I think part of that, it's helped maintain a focus that we can rebound collectively as a whole better. But I think we're not going to be a team that's going to overextend and try to shoot the passing lanes. But I think we can be better than we were last year defensively, because we have a group now that in year 2, along with adding Naya, as I mentioned, about being a good on the ball defender, I think all leads to that being a more productive defensive unit.
What do you see different in Marcia Howard now versus a year ago when you hadn't seen much of her yet?
Well, as you mentioned, she didn't get a chance to practice last summer. Didn't get a chance to play on the trip to Canada. Really was not cleared to fully practice until after the exhibition games, and was able to then jump in and be able to play. But she's a vocal force. She's a toughness that we need. She's somebody that plays a lot bigger than her listed size, and I think that part, you can see that is contagious. And she's able to do some really, really good things individually to keep herself on the floor. She's in the best shape of her life. She's stronger than she's ever been. I think that allows her to get through the soreness at times. And I think the biggest part that we also know, she's somebody that plays with a high amount of emotion. And I think there's a confidence that goes with that she's been able to spread, not just to the younger teammates, but to everybody on the team.
So with your size, will we see you even going up and down the floor a little bit more? What will you try to do offensively, and maybe anything differently from last year?
Yeah, we're going to keep the curtain a little bit on that. We are going to have to utilize, I think, having extra perimeter players in the game at times. Maybe you won't see that same. Last year we could really, with having Avi and Milena and really worked a lot of situations where we had 2 post players on the floor. I think we have the ability now, especially with the growth of Kayla McMorris, I think really showed itself in these last 2 weeks. She's had a great sense of urgency since the start of the summer to lead us. I think part of that is knowing this is her last opportunity as a collegiate. And I think that part of, hopefully we can spread the floor a little bit more, be able to work with different types of post players as far as having, I think Abby Leshevsky's made some great strides. I think she had a great confidence boost in the closed scrimmage. Kendall Shaw being able to be able to make it through almost every single practice is a huge goal. She's in better shape, but having that type of inside presence, and then even at times when we go even smaller with Marcia Howard maybe as a post player, with 4 guards, I think that's a look that I think we can be able to exploit people on that end of the floor, maybe draw teams that play 2 posts out a little bit more, and put people back on their heels in that way. So I think we have to be smart with understanding who we are. And there's a big part, it goes back to what is that one change. We've got to take better care of the basketball. And if we're going to do that, I think we have to be smart what we do in transition, just knowing that every possession is so important, and it's not just a matter of changing the tempo of the game.